If you're a business owner, you would know how important reporting is. Only if you have a complete overview of what's happening in your business, you can make conclusive decisions, make better strategies, and put out any fires before it even happens. And the thing is, most companies' data look like this. You can't make valuable, conclusive decisions out of this thing. It's not that easy to read. So what did I do? I built this AI agent that reads your entire data, gives you comprehensive overview of what's happening, what the trend is, and how things are going, and it looks something like this. You see this Slack channel? This is, I created this for my client, and let's go to this weekly analysis thing. So in here it gives a complete overview of this client's email subscription status. So it tells him that, hey, your email subscription grew by 522 this week, reaching a total of XYZ. It was primarily driven by this source, and these are the key metrics. Your retention rate is this. These are the top subscription dates, top unsubscription rates, top sources, and then it even gives you actionable insights. This is exactly what a data analyst is doing. This is exactly the job role of data analyst, will be fully automated using AI. You don't need a data analyst anymore. And in this call, I'm here to explain you guys why I built it and how you as a business owner can do the same thing for your business completely for free if you watch the entire video. All right, so this data, as you can see, this is what's been explained in here. Another data that he has is his email registrations. Before I explain you that, let me show you why I built it. So why did I build this thing? The thing is, I'm a business owner as well. I work with multiple businesses, helping them streamline their operations. But even me as a business owner, I had solid reporting systems in place. But the thing is, I didn't have the time to go read it because most of them are in a format that it's not that easy to read. Sometimes they're not even visual. And even if it is visual, I don't have the time to go there, read how the thing is, make conclusive decisions, and even make comprehensive analysis on what's happening. I didn't have the time to do it. So what happened? Oftentimes things go wrong and I have to put out the fire, because guess what? I didn't know what was happening in my business. One such example was my accountant told me that our expenses for the bank transactions was through the roof because no one in the past 12 months checked how much we were paying for in bank fees. After he told me that, 12 months later, we implemented certain strategies, and now our expenses in paying financial fees or bank fees is reduced by 80%. 80% is pretty high for us because we deal with a lot of volume. 80% is pretty high, and if I knew this before, I didn't have to deal with this whole thing. That's why reporting is important, and it's going to give you a comprehensive overview of what's happening in your business in text-based format to you daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or whatever format you put it. So I already explained how it works, why I did it. All right, now let's talk about the solution, how to implement this thing for you. So you can implement this using two things. You need AI, and you can use AI and automation. That's how we build this thing. All right, and what it's going to do is it's going to read your data wherever your data is stored, and then it's going to give you comprehensive analysis of this data that's unreadable to you, or it's just junk, into a very comprehensive overview on a periodic basis. You said whether it's daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, bi-weekly, whatever it is. And this thing is currently helping me or my clients save 10 plus hours per month by giving a complete overview of my business without even me lifting a finger. Because the thing is, we don't want to look into reports whenever we feel like it. We want reports coming to us on a periodic basis so we can make conclusive decisions, and that's what this AI automation does. So what does it do? It, as I said, analyzes your entire data on behalf of you, giving you periodic analysis. It analyzes your entire data, gives you recommendations, and it helps you make data-driven decisions. So now let's talk about how to implement this. Before we implement this, we need three core things. We need an OpenAI access, whether it's OpenAI, whichever LLM it is, we need access to that. But the current tutorial is about OpenAI. So access to OpenAI, Make or Zapier or any integration tool access, even if it's Python, it works. Third is you're having your data stored somewhere. If you don't have your data stored, then how can you make conclusive decisions out of it? So for currently, let's talk about this client right here, Anthony O'Neill. His data, we essentially stored the data on Google Sheets right here, email subscriptions. This is where the data is stored. There's around 180,000 rows of data in here, as you can see. So this is where we store the data. You have to store the data somehow, whether it's Airtable, whether it's a CRM, wherever it is, have it stored somewhere. So these are the three prerequisites. Once that is ready, let me show you how to do it. So the first thing that you have to do is, this is how the automation looks like. Let me first show you how the automation looks like. This is how the automation looks like. So the first thing that we do is we need to log into OpenAI and create an assistant. So we don't use chat prompt, we use assistant call, not chat prompt, we use assistant prompt. What that means is chat prompt or chat completion in OpenAI is just one single prompt. It doesn't know what you're doing. You can't upload files there. what does is what assistant API call does for OpenAI is you can upload files for it to make analysis on. That's why we make an assistant call. In order to make an assistant call in your Zapier or make.com, you need to create the assistant first. So you can do that by going to platform, go to OpenAI/assistants. So in here you can go to the assistant and create a new assistant right here. You create a name and you give it instructions. The instruction should be a very basic overview of what it's supposed to do. And then in here is where you select the actual model. I recommend GPT-4o. As of this point in time, 2024 of December, GPT-4o is the best one out there. I mean, 1.0 was released, but it's not accessible to assistants. So 4o is the best one. And so I select 4o and enable file search and code interpreter. File search mostly, because then it's going to be searching files. And then create it. It's that simple. And let me give you an overview of how the prompt looks like. So this prompt is you have to tell him what it is, like, what's the objective, what it's supposed to do, and how the instructions will be sent to it. So it looks something like this. Anthony, we built this for a client called Anthony O'Neill. So it talks about, hey, this is who he is, this is what you're supposed to do, and your scope is these things. You will be sent these data and you're supposed to give them trends, analysis, all these things. A very basic overview. That's the only thing you have to do in this instruction, because the exact instructions is sent on the API call. And once this assistant is made, then what you have to do is create a make.com automation that looks something like this, where it runs in make.com. We can have schedules, that is, it runs XYZ date. So for me, this is a weekly analysis. I make sure it runs every week, and each path that you see is each analysis for each sheet that we have. So this is email subscribers analysis, this is event analysis. We have other analysis, but we just blocked it because we have to complete it. But yeah, those are the two things. So let's focus on one thing. So the first thing that you have to do is, in order for the AI to analyze the data, you have to first extract the file and then upload the file to ChatGPT. So that's what I'm doing right now. If it's in spreadsheet, you can use this URL exactly. I'll be sending you detailed instructions at the end of this video with the document with all these things involved. So it should look something like this. So all I need to do is just take this ID, like take this spreadsheet ID and copy it, and at the same time take the ID of the sheet as well. And this is an API call onto Google where you can download the file in the format of CSV. As you can see, CSV, and this is the Google Sheet ID. I got the Google Sheet ID from here and the spreadsheet ID from here. All right. And once that happens, we download the data and then we upload the file onto OpenAI. So in order for the assistant, so the purpose is for assistants. So you're like, hey, this is the purpose for assistants, connect the data, and now the OpenAI has the file. And the next thing to do is you have to make an assistant call. Assistant call is where the actual stuff happens. This is where you have to give the detailed instructions on what it's supposed to do. So create a prompt that looks something like this. Let me show you the best practices for a prompt. So, as you can see, we have a module in make.com that downloads the file. Then we upload the CSV, make sure it's CSV, because OpenAI has limitations on which format it uploads. So if you go to OpenAI for supported, let me show you OpenAI supported files. You can see exactly which files are supported when it comes to uploading them. So currently, I believe it's CSV, PDF, TXT, all these things are the supported ones. So make sure it's within the supported file whenever you're sending the data to. And then you have to make an assistant call. Yeah, this assistant call, the best practices to follow is have a prompt that looks something like this. The prompt has to mention what its role is, how to read the file. That's the most important thing. Like, how can you tell the AI make analysis if you don't tell it how to read it? So I tell the AI exactly how to read the file. That is, this column means this column means this column means this, and in this column, these are the different options that means that's going to be there, and this is what each of these options mean. And then what it's supposed to do with the readings. If you don't tell the AI what it's supposed to do, how the hell is it going to be giving you analysis? So I tell the AI that, hey, give me an analysis of what happened in the last 7 days, and then give me a trend analysis of what's the trend like compared to last week. Then I tell it to give me an analysis of what's the retention like. For example, for email subscribers, retention is a very good thing. So what's the retention like? So I tell exactly what I need out of it, and the AI is going to give me an analysis based on that. So let me show you. As you can see in here, I say that, hey, this is a general overview of what it is, and this is how I tell it, hey, this is how the CSV is organized. This is the first column. As you can see, date, name, email, source, status, and unsubscription dates. You can ignore this is irrelevant. So this is the most important thing. This is how it gets the weekly analysis. So I'll be like, hey, this is the date in which they subscribed or unsubscribed. A subscription happened, and this is their name, this is their email, this is their tags. And tags is where they actually came from. This is their status, whether it's subscribed or unsubscribed, and the date in which they unsubscribed. And then I tell it your objective is to make analysis on a weekly performance tracking, blah blah blah. Your instruction is this. And lastly, I tell it how the output should be like. That's also very important, so you don't have to do a lot of back and forth with it. So this, I'll give you the exact prompt at the end, so you don't have to create it from scratch. And then I also give it additional notes, like, hey, this is today's date, and your analysis should be in the last 7 days. Like, you have to tell AI exactly. This is called prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is giving AI exactly what it needs to hear to give you what you exactly want. So that is what these things mean. And I also give, you can ignore this because I'm sending it on Slack. I tell it to format in such a way that it looks pretty on Slack. So that's what these things mean, but it's mostly what I mentioned in here. That is, what its role is, how to read the file, what it's supposed to do, and how to output the data. And lastly, once the analysis is made, I delete the file and I send the content to Slack. You can choose docs, you can choose email, or whatever it is that you like to have this analysis on a periodic basis. So that's pretty much it, man. So we have such analysis for event registrations as well for this client, and the rest of the stuff is coming up. So it's that simple. So in here, we download the file from spreadsheets. You need to use to download the file. This is where we upload the file onto OpenAI. This is where we make the assistant call. So make sure it's an assistant call, not a chat completion. And we choose the assistant that we build, and we give it the prompt. And I forgot. Most important thing is uploading the file. Yeah. So make sure in here, code interpreter, once you upload the file, you map the file ID in here. That's how the AI knows how to read the data. Because if you don't map the uploaded file, how the hell does it know which file to read? So you map it out by clicking on map, and then you upload the file in here, and that's pretty much it. And then you delete the file using this API call. We file slash the file ID and delete it. This is for security purposes. And lastly, I use this because I have a lot of analysis that happens. So we set the variable here. Or if you don't have, you just have single analysis, have a email or Slack in here. And for me, what it does is it gives these insights onto my Slack channel. So I take the data and I send it straight to my Slack, and it looks something like this. As you can see, general overview, key metrics, weekly analysis, the top sources in which the data came in from, and actionable insights. Same with event registrations as well. And I have a monthly analysis as well. Monthly analysis is more in depth. It's pretty much like how I build weekly analysis, but I told it to be a bit more broader. So that's that. Same thing in here. Same thing with quarterly analysis. So it's gonna look into Q2 and Q3, Q4, whatever it is, and it runs in every quarter. So when January 1st happens, it's gonna look into quarter 4 and gives them analysis. So, and yeah, I have different automations. So this is the weekly analysis. All these are separate automations, but I just added it in here for showing it to you guys. So that's that. And once you run it, it's gonna send a data like this onto your Slack. I'm not doing it right now because it's connected to my client's account. I don't want to bother them, but you guys can see how it works. And if you're using Slack, you can customize how it looks. So I added my own logo, I added my own username, and it's that simple. And now I have a complete overview of what's happening in my business, or my client now has a complete overview of what's happening in his business on a weekly, monthly, quarterly, in a very periodic fashion. And he don't have to go to the reporting section. He just gets it every week, every month, every quarter. And now he can make better decisions along the way and make sure nothing goes wrong in his business. So he doesn't have to put out any fires. That's the importance of AI, and that's the importance of implementing AI correctly. That's about it, guys. Hopefully you guys found some value in it. In the description, I'm gonna attach a Notion file with the automation file. So I'm gonna give you the blueprint. I'm gonna give you some instructions on the prompt and everything else that you need to have. All right. So that's about it, guys. So my name is Fahad. I'm the founder of Automate My Biz. And if you guys like such videos, follow for more and comment down whatever questions you have, and I'll happy to answer them. All right. Hope you have a good day. Take care.